Hey there! Welcome to day 15 of our free October 2021 Get Up and Go Challenge. Today we are going to switch gears and talk about our SOAP framework with respect to our finances. Probably one of the biggest, stickiest topics for most human beings because we have been indoctrinated to believe that we shouldn't talk about money. We should have false beliefs and crazy beliefs and misinformation about money, because the more confused we are about money, the more other people can take advantage of that and use our money, or use the money that we could be having, not against us, but kind of against us. Think of taxes. How many people have misunderstanding or misinformation about taxes and the tax code and how it works? What's thousands and thousands of pages? I used to actually do my own taxes and keep up on it, and then it got so complicated that I absolutely couldn't do it anymore. I had to hire an accountant. So again, remember our 9 areas and aspects of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence. Physical, financial, and relationships tend to be the big three for pretty much everybody. Everybody I talk to, everybody I work with, those are the big areas. Our biggest concerns, our biggest challenges, our biggest changes in our life usually fall into one of those three main categories, and then other categories as well. And sometimes they overlap. We've talked about that. But today we are going to use a tool called storyboarding to talk about your financial situation, my financial situation, and your financial situation. We're not going to talk about it. You're going to talk about it with yourself as your homework for today by storyboarding out what your current situation, your current story is, and then, of course, what is your desired story. So here's where you are right now with respect to one area or aspect of your financial life or health, right? Could be your job, your career, your streams of income or lack of streams of income. It could be debts. It could be, student loans. Lots of people have student loan debt. Lots of people have credit card debt, especially coming out of COVID. COVID was a huge impactor on almost all of our financial lives and financial health, right? A lot of people tapped into their IRAs. A lot of people tapped into their savings accounts if they had savings account. A lot of people had to crank up the credit card debt just to survive the last year and a half, much less thrive. So, job, career, business. If you're building a business, that would fall into this category. Increases of income, decreases of income. We want to increase our assets, reduce our expenses, and we want to know and understand the difference between assets, liabilities, expenses, and revenue, etc. So we want to pick something that we want to do. I have a rule in my life that whenever I want to invest in something or spend more money than I already have coming in, I need to find a way to make that income up front before I make that investment. So say I want to add someone to my personal team, my business team. In order to do that, I need to figure out where's the revenue going to come from that will cover the expense of adding that person to the team. If I want to do a project, if I want to take a coaching program, I have to figure out where is that money going to come from before I sign up for that $10,000 or $20,000 coaching program. I don't just sign up for it or put it on a credit card or figure out where the money's going to come from. I figure out in advance, where can I get the income to cover that expense? And that has served me really, really well throughout my businesses as well as my career. Now, it doesn't have to be my money, right? I've spent a lot of years in the real estate industry where we use other people's money to finance deals. As long as the numbers cover the deal, that's okay to do. So if I want to buy a rental property, I can go out and I can find investors, I can find hard money lenders, which I don't use, or different banks or institutions to finance and fund that deal. I don't have to use my own money. It doesn't come out of my pocket. So the same can be true of my businesses. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask ourselves, what area of our finances do we want to address with this? Then we're going to use storyboarding, which actually comes from Walt Disney and the Disney organization in the 1930s. I think there was a guy by the name of, I can't remember his name, something Smith, which is, really common. Or it could have been accredited to a guy named George Mallows. But the Three Little Pigs was animated, but it was storyboarded out first, meaning they first had a big idea of what they wanted the Three Little Pigs to be about. Then they made a short list of what's this going to be about, kind of like an outline. Then they sketched out little pictures that represented the main parts of the story, and then they started to fill in the details, and finally they added words and text to it. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab a napkin or a piece of paper or a Post-it note. These are actually recycled Post-it notes. And we're going to map out what is our current story about this area or aspect of our financial situation. Maybe it's you've got one bill that you want to find a way to pay, or maybe it's you want, like me, you want to add a person to your team, or you want to be able to have your wife not work, or whatever it is for you. We're going to say, what is our current situation, and then what do we want it to be? And of course, the rest of the SOAP framework is going to fill that in. So we're going to storyboard, here's my current situation, just draw it out on a napkin, and then what do I want my situation to be? So you've got a little visual picture of where you are versus where you want to be. For our assignment today, that's what we're going to do. Our action item is to actually do this. Pick an area of our financial health, or our financial finances, financial well-being, our financial life, and then what's our current situation? What do we want it to be? What's our current story? What's the story we're telling ourselves right now? And what do we want our story to be? And it can be anything. I've done so many different things as we've gone through the challenges. This is our 9th time through the challenge. I'm not sure what I'm going to do this time. I do want to add someone to my team, so I might actually do that as my current situation versus my desired situation. But I haven't quite decided yet because there's lots of different ways I could go with it. And then we're going to just do this, storyboard it out, and then share in the comments below what area of your finances you want to address. Or you can share how you felt about doing this particular exercise. If you've got any questions about the process and how you do it and how you storyboard, I learned to storyboard when I was in college in a marketing course. We had to draw out storyboards for commercials and for advertising. It comes from, of course, obviously, Walt Disney Entertainment industry, where they kind of map out advertisements, they map out commercials, they plan out in pictorial form what is going to happen in the story. And we can use that tool to do the same thing. Plus, it's fun, and it gives us another tool in our toolbox for identifying and taking some of the emotion and some of the, because financial tends to be a really emotionally laden area for us, for many of us, with lots of beliefs that we grew up with as kids and adults and through our various experiences. It takes some of that emotion out and lets us look at, okay, what's really going on here? Because a lot of times when we look closely at a situation, it's not nearly as bad as we built it up to be in our mind. Any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow, and we are going to hop into the O of our SOAP framework with respect to our finances and this particular financial situation. All right, have a great day, and I'll be with you tomorrow.